Most people watching this video know my stance on the market. I've been bearish for quite a while and this week wasn't too great for the altcoins either. But what is interesting is that it's not just this week, it's also this month which hadn't been too great, and even this year. The majority of altcoins lost this year, despite Bitcoin having appreciated more than 30%. Isn't it fascinating that we've got so many losers, some of them even more than 80% in the last year, when overall we were rather in a bull market? Now in this video we are going to look at the macro picture again, because in the end all of those prices are influenced by Bitcoin, and the question is always, where is the current risk to reward? If currently the risk isn't too high relative to the potential upside, it might make sense to take some of that risk. Otherwise, it might make sense to rather stay away. Now, let's have a look at the data most people are not considering. For example, have a look at this chart here. This shows Bitcoin supply over time. So the circulating supply is in orange, and that's very much predictable because there is the mining that issues the BTC, and that newly issued supply gets cut in half every 4 years, right? So the supply expansion is slowing down. Now what's interesting is when we look at the free float, so that's the line in green, that there was actually zero expansion since July of 2017. So for the last 8 years roughly, there was not more floating Bitcoin, even though the overall supply went up, simply because a lot of the supply is now held by long-term holders. The price discovery happens among the short-term holders, and that's what's creating those rallies and those bear markets. But the reason why Bitcoin appreciates over time is because there's more and more fiat currency printing, and also because there's more and more adoption by the long-term holders. That's why those bottoms and those tops tend to be higher over time. Now when we take away those very long-term views and we just have a look at the hot, warm and short-term holder supply, we can see how this is generating those price moves. In other words, when there's a lot of short-term interest in BTC, when a lot of short-term speculators buy BTC, that is when the price appreciates very fast, when there's an acceleration of a bull market. When the short-term holders tend to sell, when they exit the market, that's when the Bitcoin price can go down quite drastically, by more than 80% in 2018 and by more than 70% in 2022. It's the short-term holders that create this price fluctuation. Currently, the short-term holders tend to rather still accumulate. Not as quickly anymore compared to Q3 of 2024, but it's still going up slightly. And so Bitcoin is simply just to get the full length video, feel free to simply subscribe over here. Then you get it recommended by the algorithm.